global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello good people, welcome back. When we saw crises between Wike and Fubara extending beyond a period of time, most Nigerians thought that will be the worst that we have seen. But shockingly, more crises are coming out from PDP, considering what is currently going on between Atiku Abubakar and Bode George. Now, Bode George came out and made some very strong statement against Atiku that if Atiku was the one who was in power, what would have happened and all of that, because it was quite unjustifiable, being that it was another that was in there. He said some other things and also make reference when Paul Ibe, the media person to Atiku Abubakar, responded to him. He made some other statement which Paul Ibe had to address. But however, some stalwart of PDP has sent a strong warning to Atiku Abubakar to do the needful with his people, considering how they are taking this case. It's tearing the party apart more and more. But first of all, let's look at what Paul Ibe recently commented and which led to some of the statements we are hearing from these stakeholders. He had already commented about what Bode George said against Atiku Abubakar. But the latest one now is, he said, "My dear son has recently conveyed to me that he overheard Chief Bode George declaring that he is unfamiliar with Paul Ibe. Furthermore, he relayed that the pardoned ex-convict referred to me as a boy. I explained to my son that it is possible that Chief Bode George, by the way, I declined a chieftaincy title due to its phonetic resemblance to thief, might have been alluding to him, my son, who also bears the name Paul Ibe. I assured him that I pardoned the chief's remark. Nevertheless, addressing a matured man as a boy, regardless of age, constitutes a grievous affront. I then took the opportunity to enlighten my son about Bode George, who is affectionately known as Lagos Boy, and whom I had covered as a journalist. I explained that Bode George is unlikely to be acquainted with me, as our paths never converged during his incarceration in the VIP section of Krikri prison. While Bode George faced a trial for an initial 163 count of fraud, later reduced to 63 count, I was engaged in reporting on the case. After our discussion, my son expressed to me, "Dad, I'm profoundly proud of who you are. If Bode George were my father, I would have publicly disowned him." Imagine what he said to Nigerians. Now, these and other replies that Atiku Abubakar, number one media person, has said trigger a lot of reactions, and that's why they are currently calling Atiku Abubakar, to do the needful, at least to pocket his boys so that they don't continue on this rampage. Let me read to you what the chieftain had to say. Now, the chieftain of the People Democratic Party in Lagos State, Barrister Tofik Gani, had called on the party presidential candidate in the last election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, to call his aides to order and guide them against what he observed as their now intolerable agent provocateur rule, which has continued to embarrass PDP in the eyes of the electorate. Gani, who is former spokesperson of Lagos State of PDP, made the call on Monday in a signed statement, copy of which he made available to newsmen in reaction to altercation between the former deputy national chairman of the party, Chief Bode George, and Mr. Paul Ibe, media aide of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Chief George had, while featuring on a Rise television program, said that Atiku would have failed as president if he had won at the polls, noting that his emergence as president in 2023 would have created many problems for the country, including its unstable polity, to which Ibe had reacted, saying that the former vice president administration would rather have ushered in prosperity. Now, in reaction to what Ibe had said with other things, Gani, while denouncing accusation of tribalism and being unfit to be a member of the military leveled against Chief Bode George by Ibe, urged former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to immediately disassociate himself from the press statement issued by his media aide. He said this was just as he noted that the former deputy national chairman of the People Democratic Party, Bode George, had reiterated his stance that the emergence of Atiku from the North in 2023 as presidential candidate after 8 years of Northern presidency was against the letter and spirit of the party's constitution relating to offices and power rotation. He says, Paul Ibe has just confirmed that he is the worst of the 90% of Atiku's aide, whose incompetence, disillusionment, intellectual laziness, and fairness from public opinion repeatedly cost Atiku his ambition. The attempt by Paul Ibe to carry out of dormancy is misdirected and dead on arrival. Atiku should disassociate from the press statement and, in fact, sack Paul Ibe. Obviously, Paul Ibe is around Atiku for pecuniary gain and thus will continue to act as an agent provocateur against the interests of Atiku. That was what the young man said. He went further to say George has never described Atiku as a rookie to be president, but Atiku's emergence was against the PDP democracy and national expectation. Indeed, the Atiku emergence eventually alienated many sitting governors, ex-governors, senators, leaders, including Peter Obi and many others, hence the birth of LP as a third force, which eventually compromised the expectation of PDP's vote. The PDP chieftain described as laughable, accusing Chief Bode Judge of tribalism, saying that such exposes Ibe as a gaslighter bereft of vital information. According to him, for the sake of clarity, the best friend of Chief Judge is from the north, recalling that the former PDP deputy national chairman also committed all he had as then presidential campaign director general to successfully return late Umar Yar'Adua in Northern as president. Thus, accusing Judge of tribalism is laughable and expose Paul Ibe as a gaslighter bereft of vital information. For the sake of clarity, the best friend of Chief Bode Judge is from the north. Chief Bode Judge also committed all he had as DG to successfully return late Yar'Adua in Northern as president. If Atiku does not immediately disassociate himself from the deceased statement by Paul Ibe, caution his aides against a similar reaction and himself humbly admitting the emergence as a political mistake, then the 2023 emergence will remain a talking point which may eventually kill the party he had won. Wow, this is really, really interesting. And from all indication, we already know who Paul Ibe is, that when he makes his point, he can hardly go against it. He's such a tough political nut to crack, I must say. I've listened to him severally, and he's not a man that can just wake up and withdraw his word. Instead of that, he wouldn't mind to throw in, the white towel. But then let's get to hear what Atiku will do at this point, because I must say that the standpoint of Bode Judge, though it's very uncalled for at a time like this, but at the same time does not deserve the level of reply Paul Ibe gave. Don't forget that this is a case of altercation between Atiku Abubakar and Bode Judge. So Paul Ibe, as a media person coming into surface, is a way of dragging the name of Bode Judge to the mud. Unfortunately, I don't know if Bode Judge did not know that Paul Ibe is actually a journalist. Being a journalist, he has a lot of information in his fingertip. He has a lot of things to say, and he has been in the pathway of journalism for many years. So right now he has all that he can say against Bode Judge, and that's exactly what he's dishing out to him. Let's wait to hear if Atiku will reply. That's what we like to leave it.
Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global